Recording in progress.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our council meeting today. Thank you for coming. It's nice to have people in the gallery, if that's what you want to call it. So again, I'd like to welcome everyone. And I'd like to report out of council. Before we do that, I'd just like to say that anyone speaking, please step up to the mic. Terry, you can be the mic patrol. Make sure the green light's on. We have people in the community watching this council meeting often, and that's the biggest complaint. Can't hear you. So I'm going to ask you to speak into the mic and speak up. Going to ask if there's any pecuniary interests to disclose this afternoon. Seeing none, then we're going to move right into reporting out of closed. I've got a resolution moved by Councillor Dirksen, seconded by Councillor Zimmerman, that the council receives the closed session report regarding information supplied in confidence by a third party that, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to cause harm, either by prejudicing significantly the competitive position or interfering significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group, or of persons or organization, attainable housing as information. It's a mouthful. And further, that council approves the confidential direction given to staff. All in favor of that motion? Carried. Thank you. Got our resolution. Councillor Pontovich, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that the minutes of the town of Minto, April 7th, 2026, closed session meeting, April 21st, 2026, and regular council meeting, and April 23rd, 2026, special council meeting be approved. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Resolution moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Gunson, that the council of the town of Minto convene into the Court of Revision. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you. So we have a Court of Revision on Drain 112, and there's 3 of us council members on the Court of Revision. That's why the other 4 have stepped aside, and our CAO. So I'm going to unchair the meeting today, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. The purpose of the Court of Revision meeting is to hear appeals to the schedule of assessment for Minto Drain number 112, serving parts of lot 17 and 18, concessions 2 and 3, Town of Minto, County of Wellington. The following are attached to the agenda: Court of Revision jurisdiction, the notice of court revision, and the provision bylaw 2026-017, which is the municipal drain number 112. Can ask if there's a pecuniary interest from anyone or a general nature thereof. Okay. We're going to start with Brandon Widner. Is Brandon here?
He's on.
Pardon me? Oh, he's on Zoom. Pardon me. All right. Brandon Widner is our engineer from Sprite Associates, Engineers and Architects, and he'll give evidence regarding any appeal before the court, and I don't believe there's any appeals. At least we haven't had any. We'll ask Brandon to talk to us anyway, will we? Okay. Brandon, are you there?
Yep. Can everyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. You go ahead. Welcome to the meeting this afternoon.
Nope, and thank you for letting me join remotely. It saves me driving up there. Today we have a small drain, municipal drain 112. Again, this was a drain that we previously considered a couple weeks ago. It's a relatively small project. It's essentially all located on one property and includes one road crossing. The assessment is, or the total cost is $74,000. I don't believe we received any appeals to date.
Okay, thank you, Brandon Widner. Mr. Binkley, is there anything you want to add?
I have nothing, thanks.
So everybody's happy? All the farmers are happy with the drain?
It would seem so.
Okay, so we're going to move along here then. There's no written appeals. There's no comments. There's no verbal appeals. So the Court of Revision deliberation. We don't need to retreat. This is very the Court of Revision decision then. How about that?
Yeah, so we just need a mover and a seconder. for
Before,
your motion.
I maybe should ask the Court of Revision if there's any comments on this. I know we've heard it. This is the second time we've discussed this. Ryan is our development technician, drainage superintendent, is telling us that things are good, and we've had the farmers in our council chambers either 2 meetings ago. So we a mover and a seconder then, Councillor Gunson, Deputy Mayor Anderson. You want to read the decision?
Yep, so the motion from the Court of Revision is that the Town of Minto Court of Revision accepts the assessment for municipal drain 112 as presented.
Okay, all in favor of the motion? That's carried. And I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much. You folks can come and sit down. They're not, all these Court of Revisions are not quite as simple as this one was today. But it's nice to get an easy one. It's really nice to have all the farmers involved agreeing. So, all right. Thank you. So we have a resolution moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, second by Councillor Dirksen, that the Town of Minto Court of Revision convene into Committee of Adjustment. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you. So today we're having a public hearing. It's MV 2026-03, and it's Newman 87 Queen Street North in Hairston. And any decisions reached by this committee today cannot be used to set a precedent. Each application considered by the committee is dealt on its own merits, and no two applications are exactly the same. So the public hearing today is to consider a minor variance application, MV 2026-03, Jeff Newman. And I will ask Quinn, our Secretary Treasurer, Nick Rob, Gorecki, to state the following information, please.
Thank you. The property subject to the proposed minor variance application is legally described as Lot 34, municipally known as 87 Queen Street North in Hairston in the Town of Minto. The subject property is approximately 1,011.7 meters squared or 10,890 square feet. The purpose and effect of this minor variance application is to seek relief from the maximum lot coverage requirement to permit the construction of a 118.9 meters squared or 1,280 square foot accessory structure with a lot coverage of 12%. Section 6.1.4A of the Town of Minto Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw 0186 as amended permits a maximum coverage of 10% for accessory structures, whereas a lot coverage of 12% is proposed. Additional relief may be requested at the time of this meeting. The revised notices were mailed to the property owners within 200 feet or 60 meters of the subject property, as well as the applicable agencies on April 14th, 2026, and posted on the subject property on April 14th, 2026. Reports and comments were received from the planning coordinator at the Town of Minto, as well as a planner from Wellington County, and are attached to the agenda for council's review.
Thank you very much, Quinn. I will ask our Minto's planning coordinator, Samantha Haghai, to provide some comments. Please.
Thank you, Mayor Thurton. Good afternoon, everyone. As Queen mentioned, the application before the Committee of Adjustment concerns the property located at 87 Queen Street North, owned by Jeff Newman. The application is proposing to construct a 118.9 square meter or 1,280 square feet detached garage. The property currently contains a detached dwelling and shed. The property is zoned low-density residential, which permits a maximum lot coverage of 10% for accessory structures. The proposal seeks relief to increase the maximum permitted lot coverage to 12%. The application was circulated to the relevant agencies, including the County of Wellington and Minto Valley Conservation Authority, as well as the property owners within 16 meters or 200 feet of the subject property. Both the county and the Minto Valley Conservation Authority have reviewed the application and have no concerns, but a written comment was received from the neighboring property owner, Dean Campbell of 93 Queen Street North. He has no objection to the requested variance for lot coverage. However, he raised a concern regarding drainage, as the proposed building is located approximately 3.3 feet from the property line, and runoff from the downspouts may cause water accumulation along the property boundary. In response to this concern, the applicant has agreed to direct runoff onto their own property to prevent any impact on the neighboring lands. Town of Minto staff have reviewed the application and the concern raised and recommend that the condition of approval be included to address drainage. Subject to this condition, the staff support the application and have no concerns. This application meets the floor test for the minor variance under the Planning Act. It is considered minor in nature and maintains the general intent and purpose of both the zoning bylaw and official. If the comment have any question for me, I will be happy to ask.
Okay, thank you very much, Sama. So I'm gonna, I don't think Jeff is here, but,
No, Jeff did
Terry?
notify staff that he's unable to attend. I just, for some of the correspondence that it's being sent back and forth, with the concern raised by the adjacent property owner, he has no concerns with addressing that. So the runoff from his roof is going to be redirected into his property opposed to at the property line. So it's one of these great cases where the neighbors get along and actually talk to each other and resolve the problem before we really have to get involved. So it's good.
so what you're saying, Terry, going forward, when the neighbors get along and they can solve problems, that's a good thing.
It makes my life easier.
Okay. Okay, so, is there anybody else that wants to speak, to this application? All right, then I'm gonna open it up to the committee. Questions for, Sama or Terry? Really nice to hear that, we solve a lot of problems beforehand. Is that, is the house crooked on the lot, or is that just, my eyes? Just the picture.
Going by that drawing, it looks like it
Yeah.
is skewed, but that's unfortunately pouring concrete is not an exact science. So having buildings skewed slightly is more common than people think.
Okay, any questions from the committee? Okay, and Mr. Newman isn't here, so I'm going to ask Quinn to read the resolution on the approval, please.
Sure. So the resolution is that the Town of Minto Committee of Adjustment approves the application by Jeff Newman for the property legally described as Lot 34, municipally known as 87 Queen Street North in Hairston in the Town of Minto, seeking relief from Section 6.1.4A to permit a maximum lot coverage of 12% for accessory structures. So let's need a mover and a seconder.
Can we have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Elliott, Councillor Gunson. Any other questions? Okay, no questions. I'm going to call the question. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you. Anyone wishing to receive a copy? The notice of decision of the Committee of Adjustment in respect to the minor variance application must make a written request to the clerk of the Town of Minto at 5941 Highway 89 Hairston, NOG 1Z0, or by email at annaline@town.minto.on.ca. And I'm going to officially adjourn this public meeting. And we're going to go into another public meeting here. This one is MV 2026-04. It's Peterson, 6168 16th line. I will act as chair of this public meeting, and any decision reached by this committee today cannot be used to set a precedence. Each application considered by the committee is dealt with on its own merits, and no two applications are exactly the same. So the purpose, public hearing is to consider a minor variance application MV 2026-04 by Nelson Peterson. And I'll ask our Secretary Treasurer Quinn Gurecki to give us some information.
Okay, the property subject to the proposed minor variance application is legally described as concession 17, lot 18, concession 18 west, part lot 18. Description included RP 60R1586. Part 2 is municipally known as 6168 16th line in the town of Minto. The subject property is approximately 54.7 hectares or 133.6 acres. The purpose and effect of this minor variance application is to seek relief from the maximum required distance between an additional dwelling unit and the main farm building to permit the construction of a 232.26 meters squared or 2,500 square foot dwelling unit with a garage. Section 6.29.2H of the Town of Minto's Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw 0186 as amended permits a maximum distance of 61 meters or 200 feet from the main farm residence, whereas a distance of 91.44 meters or 300 feet is proposed. Additional relief may be requested at the time of this meeting. The revised notices were mailed to the property owners within 200 feet or 60 meters of the subject property, as well as the applicable agencies on April 22nd, 2026, and posted on the subject property on April 22nd, 2026. The following reports and comments were received and attached for council to review. Comments from the planning coordinator at the town of Minto, the planning department at Wellington County, and an environmental planning technician from Saugeen Valley Conservation.
Thank you, Quinn. I'm going to ask our Town of Minto Planning Coordinator, Samantha Haghai, to present.
Thank you,
Thank
Mayor
you.
Theriton. The application before the Committee of Adjustment concerns a property located at 6168 16th line owned by Nelson Peterson. The applicant is proposing to construct a 232.26 square meter or 2,500 square feet additional dwelling unit with an attached garage. The property currently contains a detached dwelling and a shed. The property is zoned agricultural and natural environment, which permits additional dwelling units subject to a maximum permitted distance of 61 meter or 200 feet from the main residential building. The proposal seeks relief to increase this distance to 92 meter or 300 feet. It should be noted that a numerical error was made in the section number referenced in the notice of public hearing. However, this doesn't affect the nature of the proposal. The application was circulated to the relevant agencies, including County of Wellington and Saugeen Valley Conservation Authority, as well as to property owner within 60 meter or 200 feet of the subject property. No concerns have been raised with the town. The county has reviewed the application and identified the property designated secondary agricultural core greenland and greenland. This site also contains provincially significant wetlands, significant woodlands, and a life science ANSI area. No concerns were raised with the proposal. Saugeen Valley Conservation Authority also has confirmed that the property is in a screening area that includes nearby streams, Minto Municipal Drain number 14, and surrounding floodplain and wetland areas. Also mentioned that since the property and the proposed dwelling is outside the hazard area, and as long as the house, septic system, and any grading are kept at least 15 meters away from the top of the east bank of the water course or drain, Saugeen Valley Conservation doesn't require any permit or further review. Town of Minto staff have reviewed and discussed the application considering the existing municipal drain constraints. Staff support the application and have no concern. The application meets the four tests for a minor variance under the Planning Act. It's considered minor in nature and maintains the general intent and purpose of both the zoning bylaw and official plan. I would be happy to answer any question.
Okay, Sama, thank you. So I'm going to ask Mr. Peterson. If there's anything that you would like to add as the owner applicant? Welcome, Nelson Peterson.
Thank you. I'll try to lean into the mic. Just a few comments, I guess, housekeeping type of things. I noticed in some of the documents, the spelling of my last name fluctuates between O-N and E-N. The correct spelling is S-E-N for my last name. So that's just a clerical housekeeping kind of thing, I'm sure. The municipal tile on some of the drawings, and yes, that's a good picture there. It's not entirely accurate, I don't think. Let's see here if I can, I'll highlight it here. No, it's not working.
It doesn't work on LED.
Ah, of course.
You can, if you want to, you can just point to it for our benefit, okay?
The municipal tile actually runs along in here. There's an orange pipe that comes up from the municipal tile around in there and then proceeds across the yard and then veers off towards the open ditch. So yeah, it's a little bit closer to the house than it is to the barn when it runs through the backyard there. It's not a big deal,
Right.
but it's just one of the, and again, on the other side there's another municipal tile that comes across from a catch basin across the road. And I think that's a little bit more down in the center of the lawn, which is a low spot running through the back of the lawn. Which leads to my last point, the whole reason for requesting a minor variance. If I'm within 200 feet of the existing house, I would either have to be on the west side, very close to the road, or I would have to be, well, that's really the only place that I could, or I'd have to be within 50 feet maybe of, or actually, I don't think that there is any other place that I could be. So that's why I would like to build up on top of the hill, approximately where that orange square is. If I were within 200 feet, I'd be right down, I'd probably be within 15 feet of the existing municipal tile. And I would also be in a place where I know there is standing water in the spring, and I'd rather not be there at that point. But so that's the whole reason for requesting relief from the 200-foot restriction.
Okay, thank you. There might be questions here in a second. Is there anybody else in the council chambers today wishing to speak to this application? Okay, then I'm going to open it up to our committee. Questions? Councillor Potnovitz,
Yes, through you, Mayor.
who are you directing this to?
I guess through the planning department here.
Okay,
The location, I'm in agreement with the location, but I don't see any access there, like road access to get to it. Is there a driveway, or are they gonna create a new entrance off the road, or?
So with additional dwelling units, a separate entrance off the road is not permitted. There is a pathway that leads to that area. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a completely gravel driveway, but there is an access over the municipal drain to that location. So it will be accessible. It may need at Mr. Peterson's discretion on upgrading it if needed, but there definitely is provisions to access that location.
And just a follow-up, then, do they need a permission to cross that municipal drain with the driveway?
It's an
Okay.
existing driveway already, so really they have it currently.
Oh, I mean, to the proposed, if they're gonna cross a drain, put another driveway through there, are they not?
I believe they're using the existing driveway, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think, well, if there'll be a shared driveway, I'll just be putting additional gravel down to have a good solid base.
And that municipal drain is an enclosed municipal drain, so it's not like we need a culvert crossing or anything like
Okay,
that.
That's what my concern was.
other questions? Okay. Thank you very much for the question. Okay, so we are at, I'll ask our Secretary Treasurer Quinn to, I think we're likely going to approve this application. So would you read that resolution?
Yep. So the resolution is that the Town of Minto Committee of Adjustment approves the application by Nelson Peterson for the property legally described as Concession 17, Lot 18, Concession 18 West, Part Lot 18, description included in Registered Plan 60R1586, Part 2, municipally known as 6168 16th Line in the Town of Minto, seeking relief from Section 6.29.2H to permit an increase to the maximum required distance between an additional dwelling unit and the main farm building. You just need a mover and a seconder.
Okay, can we have a mover and a seconder? Deputy Mayor Anderson, Councillor Dirksen. Everybody understands the resolution here, understands what we're doing? Okay, going to call the question and all in favor of the motion. That's carried. Anyone wishing to receive a copy of the notice of decision of the Committee of Adjustment in respect to the minor variance application must make a written request to the clerk of the Town of Minto at 5941 Highway 89 Hairston, NOG 1ZO, or by email at town.minto.on.ca. And I'm going to officially adjourn this public meeting, public hearing. Thank you. Mr. Peterson, if you want to leave, that's fine. If you want to stay and partake, that's fine as well. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for coming. Okay, so we have a resolution moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Gunson, that the Town of Minto Committee of Adjustment convene into Committee of the Whole. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you. So we have another public meeting today. This has to do with the ZBA 2026-02. It's Behringer 5159 Minto Normanby Town Line. And I will act as chair of this public meeting. I'll call the public meeting to order. Anyone here today that hasn't signed in reference to this public meeting, do that before you leave. And if a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Town of Minto before the bylaw is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of the Town of Minto to the Ontario Land Tribunal, and the person or public body may not be added as a party to the hearing of the appeal before the tribunal unless, in the opinion of the board, there are reasonable grounds to do so. I'll ask Quinn to state the municipal address and the legal description, please.
The property subject to the proposed amendment is located at Concession 18, Part Lot 41, Part Lot 40, Part Lot 39, Town of Minto. The subject property is a total area of 76.8 hectares or 189.9 acres. The purpose and effect of the proposed amendment is to rezone the subject lands from agricultural exception or A1 zone to agricultural site-specific or A117 zone to allow for the construction of a new livestock facility and manure storage on an existing farm and to permit a reduction in the MDS2 requirements from the adjacent Clifford settlement boundary. The notices were mailed to the property owners within 400 feet or 120 meters of the subject property, as well as the applicable agencies, and posted on the subject property on April 14th, 2026. Reports and comments were received from the County of Wellington, the Town of Minto, and Saugeen Valley Conservation and attached for council to review.
Okay, thank you, Ben. So I'm going to ask our county planner, Jamie Barnes, to provide some comments. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you. It's my first time
Sitting
here.
back
so-
there very quiet, keeping to
I
yourself.
am. I'm just in the corner, but I'm fine back there. Anyways,
Thank you.
good afternoon, Mayor Terran and members of council. I am happy to be here to present a report to you for the purpose of this public meeting. The subject property to this application is municipally known as 5159 Minto Normandy Town Line, located just outside of the Clifford boundary. As per the county official plan, the property is designated as prime agriculture, greenlands, and core greenlands in the county official plan. In the township zoning bylaw, the property is zoned as agricultural exception A-1 and natural environment NE. The purpose of this amendment is to rezone the subject lands to agricultural site-specific A-117 to facilitate the construction of a hog barn, which is approximately 1,320 meters squared in size with manure storage facility as well. Further, the amendment will also recognize a decreased MDS separation requirement because the proposed expansion does not meet the required MDS separation 2 setback from the Clifford settlement boundary. Their current A-1 zone prohibits a new barn and therefore a zoning amendment is required. Planning staff note that the MDS2 calculation indicates the proposed new barn is required to be 768 meters from the settlement limits, whereas the applicant is proposing to construct the barn 340 meters from the settlement boundary. Under the MDS guidelines, a settlement boundary is considered a Type B land use, which is more sensitive and has a setback that is double the calculated setback to Type A, which would be the dwelling. However, planning staff note that the lands within the Clifford settlement boundary adjacent to the subject property are used as lagoons for the town's sewage system. The closest residential lot is more than 1,000 meters from the proposed expansion and therefore meet the required setback from the nearest residential land use. Therefore, planning staff do not have any concerns with the proposed application, considering the adjacent lands in the Clifford settlement area are used for storage lagoons and are designated as industrial. We hope these comments are helpful to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. There could be questions, so we're going to ask our planning coordinator, Sama, to provide some comments.
Thank you, Mayor Thurton. I believe Jamie has fairly covered all aspects, but I wanted to add, yes, this application has been circulated to relevant agencies and properties owners within 400 feet of the subject property, and the following comments have been raised. The town received comments from Saugeen Valley Conservation Authority confirming that that portions of the subject property fall within its approximate screening area, including a municipal drain, associated floodplain, and wooded wetlands. The proposed pig barn is generally located outside these natural hazard features, with only minor encroachment into the screening area, and remains more than 3 meters from the wetlands. Provided that no site alternation, grading, or filling occurs within 30 meters of the wooded wetlands, no further Saugeen Valley conservation review or permitting is required. However, if the proposal changes and encroaches within the setback, consultation with Saugeen Valley Conservation Authority will be necessary. And the Town of Minto staff have reviewed the application and have no concern, and it is consistent with the Town of Minto zoning bylaw, county Wellington official plan, and applicable permission policies. To allow construction to process as soon as possible, a bylaw has been prepared for council's consideration at this meeting, provided no concerns are raised. Thank you.
No, thank you. So is Mr. Behringer or Mr. Head here this afternoon? All right. So is there anything you want to add, Mr. Kuipers? No? Yes?
There is not.
Okay. Anyone else wanting to speak to this? Then I'm going to ask it, open it up for questioning from council. I know we've had this one here before talking about it. And there's the owner is Calvin Behringer. We're going to move along then if there's no other questions. If you wish to be notified of the decision of the council of the town of Minto in respect to the proposed zoning law amendment application, you must make a written request to the clerk of the town of Minto at 5941 Highway 89, Hairston, NOG 10, or by email to annaline@town.minto.on.ca. And if there's no further questions, then I'm going to adjourn this public meeting. And we're going to move into some exciting stuff. We have 2 delegations here today, and I'll ask Mrs. Robertson to open this discussion.
Good afternoon, Mayor Turton, Deputy Mayor Anderson, and members of council. We are well on our way with planning of the Mayor's Charity Golf Tournament that is being held on Thursday, August 6th at Pike Lake Golf and Country Club. The committee came to council in February announcing that application intake was open, and I am pleased to introduce to you today the local organizations that will be receiving funds from this year's tournament. We have Community Resource Center, Harrison Homecoming Committee, Palmerston Marlins, and Minto Vikings Hardball. Each organization has a representative here to tell you a little bit about their organization and what they plan to use their funds for. We will start with Community Resource Center.
Welcome, Ally.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Ali, and I'm representing the Community Resource Center of North and Center Wellington. We're grateful to be one of the recipients of the proceeds of the Mayor's Golf Charity Tournament, or Charity Golf Tournament, sorry. These funds will go towards the Community Resource Center's annual outreach and support programs, which provide essential local services such as housing support, emergency food access, winter wear, and other critical resources for individuals and families in our community. In rural communities like Minto, we are seeing a growing need for accessible, person-centered supports. Many individuals and families are facing ongoing challenges, meeting basic needs such as food, housing, and income stability, pressures that have intensified with the rising cost of living and limited access to nearby services. Proceeds from the tournaments will support the following for Minto residents: approximately 80 children receiving summer snacks, 70 children receiving backpacks and school supplies, 65 children receiving winter coats and winter boots, over 600 individuals supported through referrals and advocacy, and 56 individuals receiving free income tax preparations. Your aid through this tournament makes this work possible, and we are truly thankful.
Thank you, Ellie, and I just want to tell you that we appreciate the work that TRC does in our community, and I know that the coldest night of the year walk was very well, and thank you.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Next, we'll have Harrison Homecoming Committee.
Good afternoon. My name is Lisa Leslie. My husband Mark and I have agreed to co-chair this event. Homecoming in Hairston isn't until 2028, but as you know, that'll come quick enough. The proceeds that we hope to earn from the tournament will go towards seed money to start preparing for it, whether it be booking dances, meals, those kind of things. But we're excited to bring Homecoming to Hairston in 2028. So thank you very much for including us.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa, and thank you and your husband for stepping up and chairing this event. I hope that we didn't put a lot of pressure on you, and I know everything that you guys get involved in. It's always a great event, and certainly appreciate you being here and being a part of this. I know in the Palmerston Homecoming in 25, they also did the same thing in 23, and it really worked well. So thank you.
Next, we'll have the Palmerston Marlins.
Welcome, Sarah.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you for having me, everyone. So I'm Sarah McGee Birch. I am the president of our Palmerston Marlins organization this year. We've been an organization since 1994, so we're going on our 32nd year. We've got 9 female teams this year, so about 115 athletes who have been working themselves since tryouts last September. We have our opening weekend this weekend, so U11 all the way into our intermediates. It's going to be a cold weekend, but they're excited to finally start getting on to the ball season. It's a completely volunteer organization, and we are definitely excited to be a recipient. The funds will go towards helping our girls subsidize all of their tournaments, 9 to 11 tournaments every summer, provincials, Easterns, everything in between. Uniforms is a costly thing for our 115 athletes. So we are very excited and very lucky to be a chosen recipient. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. I was a part of the Marlins for a number of years, and one of the highlights was going to Ingersoll and beating up those Ladies down there, Chris, what do you think of that? So thank you for coming, Sarah, and good luck to your organization.
And last but not least, the Minto Vikings hardball.
Welcome, Janelle.
Hi there, everyone. Best for last, I guess. No, just kidding. I'm prepared. As I'm Janelle Hill, I'm representing the Minto Vikings. I'm the treasurer of this newly organized sport that we are bringing to Minto. This year we have at least 60 kids. We have a U7 team, a U9 team, and a U11 team. We're starting out small, see where it goes from there. The funds from the Mayor's Golf Tournament are going to help us kind of get us off the ground and run. We are looking to get a new pitching machine that we will use for U7s and U9s, uniforms, baseball equipment, and just helping out with all the kids that are playing this year in Minto.
Terrific, Janelle. Thank you very much, and good luck to the Vikings. I know it's relatively new, but baseball is not new to our community, and I'm sure you guys will do well. So, Tanya?
That's all
Yeah,
for me.
so I'd just like to say, I'm not sure if I wasn't listening to you, Tanya, but the Mayor's Golf Tournament is August 6th,
Yes, Thursday, August 6th.
right? It's at Pike Lake Golf Course, and I'm sure you guys know what is expected of the four groups. A little bit of to date, we've over the last since 2011, the Mayor's Golf Tournament has supported 52 groups, and we've raised a total of 169,500. So, and all that stays in the community, and it's a lot of it is raised in the community. So, a lot of sponsors. And it's a great event. So I'm telling you right now, everybody, get your names in, get signed up, because we have had teams upset because they were left out in the cold. So thank you, you folks, and good luck. I'm sure, is there anything else, Tanya? No?
I'm all good.
So same thing with you guys. If you want to stay, if not, we'll take a moment. Girls Rock, Girls Rock, okay? The strength of those four organizations is ran by women, and that's young ladies, and that's good to see. Second delegation today is from Earth Power Corporation. It's a presentation to the West Area shareholders, and we welcome the President and CEO from Earth Power, Mr. Chris White. And unless Wally, you, which one you, I assumed? Shouldn't make assumptions. So welcome, both of you.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Council, for the opportunity to introduce Earth Corporation, the organization that is purchasing Westario Power. Pleased to report that the application for the sale has been presented to the Ontario Energy Board. Their staff at the Ontario Energy Board has reviewed it for completeness and has indicated that it is a complete application. Now, the next step of the process is to have it reviewed by the OEB itself and the interveners that always enter into these discussions to make sure that there's no harm to our customers or to Earth Corporation's customers. That's the whole intention of this application, is to make sure that they see that everything's working well. So it's my pleasure to introduce Chris White, the President and CEO of Earth Corporation, who will give you background information on Earth Corporation. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Your Worship and members of Council. Very pleased to be with you all today. To give you a little bit of an overview of Earth Corporation, a little bit of an agenda here for you. Excuse me. Be talking a little bit about Earth Corporation. Earth Power, the regulated utility, as well as our competitive side of our organization, and what we're hoping to accomplish through this partnership going forward. I'll flip to the next slide here. Obviously, lots of comments about the folks up here beating down the Ingersoll and Oxford County teams. Heard that up in Saugeen Shores with the hockey teams beating out the Woodstock teams there this year as well. So there must be something good in the Mildmay water or something like that. I'm not sure, but we had 3 folks that participated with us in the Ontario Electric League hockey tournament in London a few weeks ago. So staff from Westario participated with our staff, and we came out the A Division champions. So I'm sure we've created a winning team here, and we're very excited about that. So much like Westario, we were formed back in 2000. We were originally the merger of 7 founding small utilities. That partnership grew over the years. In 2008, we welcomed West Perth and Clinton. In 2019, Goderich joined the organization as well. Slight difference, we're 100% municipally owned. Westario folks have the 10% Fortis ownership. We do not have any third-party equity. We're 100% municipally owned today. We've got offices in Elmer, Ingersoll, Goderich, and Thorndale. I'll talk more about those as we go forward. Our competitive businesses have grown from 0 revenue to over close to $30 million in revenue today. We've got 90 staff on that side of the organization that started out with 0. So we're pretty pleased with that, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Just the corporate structure there, a little different to Westario because we do have the holding company, and then we got the regulated utility off to the left, and then our competitive businesses off to the right. The shareholder each has a different equity stake in Earth Corporation, but they have ownership both in the utility and the competitive businesses. And we do have a subsidiary board overseeing the regulated utility. Flip to the next slide there. This is just our shareholders and their shareholder representative that sit on the corporate board. That board is primarily comprised of a skill-based board. So they're not all members of council, mayors, and so forth. They're a skill-based board selected by the shareholder community. I'll just focus on our mission to be a community partner committed to delivering safe, reliable electricity while providing innovative, high-quality services and solutions to our customers. This commitment does not go away with the sale of Westario to Earth Corporation. This commitment resides forever and a day. We are very committed to being a partner with the communities. And I think as you get to know us more over time, you will see that. Just a quick overview of we refreshed our brand, balancing tradition with modernization back in 2025. It's just a little modern take of our former logo. Primarily, it's a little more horizontal. The former logo was square. Took up a lot of real estate and mobile applications. That was one of the reasons for refreshing the brand. But along with that, we're modernizing our look. We're modernizing our distribution systems. We're modernizing our fleet, and we're modernizing our facilities. And you'll see that throughout the presentation. Fleet electrification, sustainability is a big priority for our organization. We want to leave the world in a better place. I firmly stand behind this. So we are introducing new technologies as we speak. Obviously, electric vehicles is part of that equation. We've got 18% of our fleet that's been converted to either fully electric or hybrid electric. And I believe you'll see 2 electric vehicles out there, one of which is mine, charging at your charge point charger there right now. So we're very pleased with sharing that with you. I'm going to speak a little bit of the left-hand side of the organization. This is the regulated utility. I'll flip to the next slide, just the governance around that. So this is a subsidiary board represented primarily by business members, industry folks. Gunnar Chexter, former CEO of Hydro Mississauga, or EnerSource, that's now formed part of Electra. Scott Stull is a regulatory lawyer from Toronto, Eric Burles. Sarah Simmons works for Power Advisory, LLP. David Affelbeck comes from Enbridge Gas, Union Gas. And then I've highlighted the Westario independent representative. So we'll be going through a process with the Westario folks and selecting a representative from the community to sit on the power board going forward. And you'll see a couple of other things on that board too. Sorry, just back quickly, I'll just point out that Tillsonburg Hydro. If you have not heard the recent announcement, but we are in the process of merging with Tillsonburg Hydro as we speak. And there is a MADS application filed with the Ontario Energy Board as well with that transaction. Flipping here again, I talked a little bit about how we were formed back in 2000. We're 25,000 customers today, Earth Power standalone. 41 employees that are supported by corporate services, 15 corporate services employees, including the executive team, HR, IT, health and safety, and so forth. We represent 67 square kilometers. Westario is 64 square kilometers. It's 457 kilometers of distribution line that we look after, and we have 28 fleet vehicles today. When you look at this service territory map, you'll find it eerily familiar with the Westario map, other than a little bit to the south. The communities are quite unique, smaller rural communities. They resemble the communities of Westario to a T. I can point to the Elmwoods of the world that share kind of attributes that Beachville would have. You look at the other communities like Goddard, start to resemble the Kincardine communities and Southampton and so forth. So many of these communities resemble a lot of our communities. So we've got a lot of experience in dealing with the smaller rural communities throughout southwestern Ontario, and we're very pleased to be doing that. Just as we move forward, enhancing the customer experience is always a priority for us. We're fortunate to have on our competitive side of our businesses some pretty talented folks that develop a lot of web tools and so forth. So engagement with our customers going forward will be quite stellar, with everything from modern websites to bill presentment to outage maps to mobile apps. Flipping to the next slide, we also have a very strong complement within the organization for communications. So I encourage you to follow us at Earth Power or Earth Corporation to follow the competitive side of our business, Earth Power, obviously the regulated side, to see what's happening in your service territory. Pretty excited to announce this. We'll be moving into this new facility in about 2 to 3 weeks time. It's a 57,000 square foot facility. It will be the hub to the utility operations. It's located in Ingersoll, close to the 401, where we have great access to talent along the 401, where we get 2 million vehicles each year running up and down the highway, and 2 university communities on either side, to the east and to the west of us. So we've got access to a lot of great talent. This building is a zero carbon building. There is no natural gas connection to this facility. It is heated and cooled with a geothermal system in the back. It's a horizontal 2-acre geofield that it gets augmented with heat pump technology within, electric heat pump to cool or warm the building on those extreme temperature days. The power consumption for the building is offset by 500 kilowatt of solar on the roof, which will offset the energy usage by 80%. We have a state-of-the-art control room within this facility. It is a purpose-built facility. We welcome you to come down when our open house gets announced in the next few weeks. It is not only EV ready, this building is EV enacted. There's 14 charging stations out front for customers and staff. There's another 20 inside the fleet warehouse and another 4 outside back behind the fence. Again, our goal is to lower our carbon footprint as we go forward as an organization. So moving on, I'm not going to talk too much about our capital strategy. We just use a tool that's the optimizer. It takes kind of the pet projects out of the equation. We go through a process where we actually score all our capital projects. And out of that, if you go to the next couple of slides, and we get a back one, maybe please. We get a risk matrix. The dots that are highlighted is the capital portfolio for the year, representing higher risk projects up in the red quadrant. So we tend to focus on those high risk projects. I'll go through the next slide. Automation is a key feature for Earth Corporation, obviously having the control room at the new building. We are deploying automation as we speak, and we're proud to report that we've received $1 million in funding from NRCan through the SHREP funding, so we'll be able to double our rollout of automated devices onto the distribution system, and we plan to do that throughout the West Ontario service territory. AVL system, obviously we monitor our staff and our vehicles and where they are. This is a health and safety function. Our folks, we're a non-contiguous utility like West Ontario, or people are running up and down all kinds of roads through all kinds of conditions. It's important for us to know where they are at any point in time. And it also helps assist with storm response. Just going to focus on the competitive side of the business for a brief second. If you flip to the next slide, we'll talk about our infrastructure group. Next slide. The infrastructure group, again, we've got a number of technical folks on this side of the group. This is not in the utility proper. This is separate business units, separate buildings, separate management teams. We do street light, traffic light, pole line constructions, substation work, subdivision installations, meter verification, and energy services. Very pleased to report that through our metering division, we are the largest accredited meter verification shop in the province of Ontario. So 60% of the meters that you see on your houses and on your businesses run through our shop to be recalibrated on a regular cycle. So just moving on here, when we talk about street light, we did a number of LED conversions to the north, perhaps in some of your communities. I know we did here on Kinloss and some other communities up here. We did over 60 municipalities across the province of Ontario. This picture on the left should be familiar to you folks. It's Hanover. It's a traffic intersection that we did there probably 5 or 6 years ago, post-COVID, but we've done work up in your communities. And this is just a little snapshot of our meter service group that I've talked about earlier. Talk a little bit about the white collar, the technology and solutions group. We are known as the Harris North Star experts in the province of Ontario. We service the needs of a number of utilities, helping support them in their billing and customer service solutions. We host systems for them. We do a lot of integration work for people, and not just smaller utilities. We've done work for the large ones too, including NWIN, Alexicon as an example. So we're pretty fluent in terms of applications. This has turned into a thriving business for us. We bill on behalf of 350,000 endpoint customers, so a number of other electric utilities, including our own, as well as other water billing for municipalities. So we do a lot of water billing for other municipalities as well. We also have a bill print, so some people still get a hard copy bill in the mail. We do over 500,000 bills through our print shop monthly. So we're pretty excited with that. Quadra is a work estimating, work management solution. We've had success across North America, down in New Zealand, Australia, and the Caribbean. And then Engage 360 is a web portal that's a front end for customer service for either electricity customers or water customers. If you're ever interested in any of those solutions, please talk to us. We were recognized by the former Minister of Energy, Todd Smith, a few years ago about our green button solution that a number of utilities are using. We have Earth Academy. This is an educational session that we provide for electricity utilities across the province, bringing them in, sharing all the greatest tips and tricks with the solutions that we leverage, and then a little snapshot of the Engage 360 product. So you flip to the next slide. This represents some of our customers in North America. We do business with every utility in the province of Ontario, with the exception of one, and that's not Hydro One. That's actually Toronto Hydro. And we did have an RFP that we responded to, and we were just shy of retaining that one. If we had to retain that, we'd be working with every utility in the province of Ontario. The dots through North America, that's the Quadra product line that's being sold there. We've entered into the HVAC marketplace, and they're using that solution all across the globe. Talk about climate action. We've got a mega and a half solar installations on arena rooftops where we've engineered, procured, installed, own, and operate. Same thing with the solar, with the EV charging infrastructure. We own, operate, and maintain that as well. With the solar installations, we leverage lease arrangements with our community partners. So we lease those roofs where they receive additional funds. Same thing goes with the EV charging infrastructure, where part of the agreement is to get to 10-year leases for those parking spots to install those installations there. We were named Canada's Clean 50 list a few years ago. Very proud of that, to which we received the top recipient award for the utility sector back in that time. So we're pretty pleased with that. This is a partnership for the future. It lowers the corporation's risk profile for all stakeholders, brings economies of scale, rate stability, modernization and automation, the combined in-house capabilities and expertise to respond to the future needs. And I think this is a great opportunity for our two organizations, because they're relatively small organizations standalone, 25,000 customers each. These are two smaller organizations coming together to create a larger organization, which creates new opportunities for our existing staff members. With a larger organization, you have the luxury of creating a little bit more redundancy, new management opportunities, and specialized skill sets, which our staff will have the opportunity to take advantage of that if it's a fit. So we're pretty pleased with how this is all coming together. I think when you flip to the next slide, you look at this geographic map, and I think it certainly portrays a regional utility, which has been a little bit of a mandate of the province for consolidation. So I think it certainly fits that bill. We will be the fourth largest geographic distributor, supporting 60,000 customers across 31 communities across 7 counties. The communities, I think, as I mentioned earlier on, very like-minded in our approach. We understand the small rural communities, small community guy myself living in Ingersoll. Certainly respect and appreciate the rural communities of southwestern Ontario and all of Ontario, quite frankly. They are unique communities, and they each have their own special characteristics. I've been very fortunate. We've got a cottage up on the Bruce Peninsula, so I've driven through many of these communities, Harriston, Clifford. This is my halfway point going to the cottage, so I can certainly appreciate many of them as a stopping point for me. We are, again, as I mentioned earlier, a community partner, very committed to that. You talked about the Mayor's Golf Tournament. Would love to be invited to those things. Not a good golfer, but I will try. And then when we talk about our communities, giving back is very important for us. Last year, we gave back approximately $200,000 in gifts in kind, sponsorships, donations to service clubs. So we're very pleased with the work that our folks do in our communities. And then lastly, this is a little bit of a slide. It's just a snapshot reminder for us of why we're doing this and what success means for us. I welcome you to read this at your leisure. It is on our website, but it's just a constant reminder of what we're doing and trying to accomplish. And then with that, the future is very bright. We've seen that with the hockey tournament championship. We've got a winning team here, and we're very excited for the future with our partners, newfound partnership with Westerio. So with that, I'd open up to any questions for you.
Earth, Montreal Canadiens, a little bit of similarity there in the future.
Exactly.
Questions, you guys?
This year. It's this year.
Any questions? Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Councillor Elliott, go ahead.
Yep. Hoot, Montreal, hoot.
Hey.
I have 3 questions. Our Westerio rep, will you be choosing one out of all of Westerio, and how much representation would the town of Minto, for example, have?
Well, I leave that to your committee that has been struck to find that appointee.
Okay.
I don't know where he'll come from, or she, for that matter. We're looking for a skill-based individual. Like to see diversity. If I can put a plug out for that.
Yeah.
But we have shared with the Westerio folks kind of the skill gaps in our organization. But they will be reaching out, and I don't know their process that they're going to be undergoing. I haven't been privy to that at this point, but I know they'll be reporting back to Earth Corporation and myself with a recommendation that they'll be looking for support on.
So if the town of Minto had problems, we would go through that rep, or would we go through?
You have problems, you call me.
That's it. Okay. All right. I'm employees for Westario, are all of them keeping their jobs?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, there's a 3-year commitment for the employees.
And we always had a pretty good response time from Westario. If Hydro went out, they give us estimated times when they get it fixed, and usually fairly quick. Is that going to be the same?
It's going to be absolutely the same because nothing's changing there in terms of the operational side of the house. The staff will always reside in Walkerton. You can't say anything forever and ever, but there's certainly no plans to change that. Geographically, when you look at the geography, it makes sense for it to remain there. I don't see any changes. When I talk about the 3-year guarantees, that's just a guarantee that's been put on paper, but really there's nothing going to happen there. And good people, all need good people. We're going to retain those good people. The only ones I'm interested in getting rid of are the problem child, if there's any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to your company. It seems like it's a good move for Westario and for us.
We're excited to be part of it. We're excited to be part of your community.
Other questions? So you're driving the white 150, that's Hydro One power. Is that any different than Earth Power that your truck is being charged with? Because we're Hydro One here.
If I had my choice, I'd move this facility into the town of Harrison, but that being said, we've got similar demographics back home where we're embedded within Hydro One service territory, so we know all about that.
How many utilities are there? Does this, like when you're talking now Ingersoll and Westario, how many utilities are there in Ontario? And where do you see us going?
In Ontario today, there is less. I think with these transactions, will bring it somewhere around the 50 mark. Where do I see it going? I see more and more consolidation happening, quite frankly. To what degree, I don't know. I mean, every 5 to 10 years, there's a new panel that's been struck by the minister's office to look at consolidation. Pulse panel most recently, but I suspect at some point in time we'll get to probably around 20, 30 utilities, maybe less.
The Westario name, I know it stayed on a couple of your spreadsheets there. It'll be totally gone in a year or so, or 3 or whatever. Or
At some point, yes, it will.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've done that, did the same thing with all the other transactions.
Yeah, throughout the course of time, there's been lots of iterations in that, but we've since landed on Earth Power, or formerly Erie Thames Power. That was a little geographically restrictive, so we took the E and the R and the T and the H and made that into Earth. That brand is very well known in the province of Ontario, both on our activity on the utility side and being active in the industry, as well as on our competitive side. So at this point in time, we don't foresee changing that. But again, nothing's forever.
Okay. Is there anything you need from us?
All I say is this is an open dialogue. This is a partnership. If there's challenges, problems, any sort of things like that, please feel free to reach out. Obviously, there's contacts within the existing Westario group that will be predominantly servicing you from a day-to-day perspective, but we'll be definitely supporting them. But we want to be engaged. We want to be part of the community, and we're certainly supportive of that. And we welcome transparent communications and dialogue.
Okay. Well, on behalf of our council and staff, whoever else was part of this with Wally and the Westario, we welcome you to our service area and thank you for your presentation today, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure you guys want to stay around. See you.
Promise?
So, as you can see by our program, we've had a change to open forum. Okay, so if it used to be question period, right? So now we're moving along to open forum. So I see nobody that wants to speak in our open forum, so we'll move along to the correspondence. I have a resolution recommendation moved by Councillor Zimmerman, second by Councillor Potnovitz, that the council receives the correspondence as information. We have a few there. If there's any that anybody wants to speak on, go ahead, Councillor Zimmerman.
Yes, I would certainly like to speak about item D, Western Ontario Wardens Caucus support for Finley's law on emergency room reform. I see no reason why we would not support that. When you read into it, it talks about wait times in the ER and stuff. And I know personally last year I experienced that with my grandson. 6 hours to get 4 stitches seems a bit lengthy, but anyway, that's what it was. So if we could make that a little speedier, I'd be more
Thank
than
you.
happy.
You're putting that in the form of a motion. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Anderson. So is there others that we want to add to that? Quinn, is there something you want to add?
I was just gonna see if you wanted a motion.
Okay. We likely do. So if there's others, we can add to the same motion. If not, go ahead, Deputy Mayor Anderson.
I wanted to look at A, the support for Bill 21, Protect Our Food Act 2025. I think we should certainly support that.
Okay, can we add that to Councillor Zimmerman's request? Others? Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder for those two, A and D, for us to support as a council of the town of Minto. All in favor of that motion? All right. Against? It's carried. Ed, do you want to talk about the Maitland conservation?
Not really. I think we had, Greg, you had something sent to you, I believe, from Bill. Support points.
Through you, Mayor, turn to council. This item was put on the agenda prior to the royal assent of Bill 97, which approved the amalgamation of all the conservation authorities.
Yeah.
So, but we wanted to make sure that council did see it.
So I was talking with Mr. Phil Beard this morning. I shouldn't have mentioned his name, but he's our CAO of Maitland, and he's a very positive guy, 90% of the time, and he's certain that things will work out, even though they're kind of they're in a sad situation right now. Everything's been halted, no spending, no capital planning, no nothing, no hiring. 36 conservation authorities in Ontario. It's going to be down to 8. We're going to be in the Lake Huron Regional Conservation Authority, and Newmarket, Lake Simcoe are also in that authority, and it's now going to be representation by population. So it's like rural Ontario. It's kind of like rural Ontario versus Toronto. So the number of people in Newmarket and Lake Simcoe versus Maitland, Saugeen, Grey Sabo, and some of the others. It's possible that we'll get drowned or choked or whatever you want to call it. I know that one of our MPs spoke against Conservation Authority, and that person was shut down pretty quick by our premier. And I mean, I can say that because these are facts. So I'm not sure if it's a good thing. I think it's a done deal. I understand Mr. Ford is backed up on other things when he takes some heat. The latest one is the jet. Yeah. So a lot of people wondering where we're headed on this, whether it's a good thing, and I mean, what is the real reason?
The cost saving.
So when was the last time there was an amalgamation that saved money? Maybe our treasurer. Can you answer that? Sorry, put you on the spot, but this.
One thing saved money, that was audit.
Okay.
I can't think of any more.
Well, and so I don't think there was a financial plan put forward on this particular. I mean, they just So anyways, go ahead.
You just wonder how much impact it will have on us getting feedback when we're looking at development plan. When you have such a large area, right? How much delay will that put into that? I'm sure that's not its intended purpose, but you wonder all of that. At least I do.
So from what I have been told, and I'm sure Ed, you've been told that the Maitland Valley head office is in Roxeter, and it won't change. So stay tuned. That's another one of those things that you kind of stay tuned. And I don't want to be negative Nelly here, but Ed, is there something you want to say?
Yes, they questioned the response time just to get the permits, and they did a consensus that got an average. It was 4.7 days turnaround to get a permit. I mean, that's phenomenal. I don't know why they're going this fast, but I'm almost 100% positive your response times are going to drastically change.
They say it's about control. Well, control of what? I don't know. Building more houses. So I think I read the resolution, so I'm going to call the question on receiving the correspondence. All in favor of that motion? Thank you. That's carried. We're now into the committee minutes for approval, and the DEI Inclusion Committee. Mr. Duff is presenting the minutes. Gord, how are you doing?
Good. Thanks, Mayor Turton. Yes, Linda is on vacation, so she asked me to fill in. We had a very interesting meeting on April the 16th. We had two special guests. One was Lean Al-Habas from the Wellington Local Immigration Partnership. This used to be called the LIP. And she's funded by a federal grant, and primarily their mission is to integrate and welcome immigrants to our broad communities. And as we know, we all have workforce issues and volunteer shortages and all that. So I think it's in everyone's interest to make them feel welcome and bring them up to speed on how they can contribute to our community and how we can welcome them. So I think the committee received it very positively. Another special guest was our own CEO, Greg Burtney, who brought forth a proposal of how people can assist our food banks and other community supports for, again, the marginal people, which has certainly become a high priority. Basically, his proposal is to make it as easy as possible to make these donations. And I know I find a lot of the good organizations, they're volunteer run, and people that may work 9 to 5 find it difficult to actually get there. This would bring trucks and other volunteers to your own residence, and you could put items out for food and that. And I believe it's being used successfully in many communities. And I think there was an immediate positive response, and they set up a subcommittee under the DEI committee to make this go forward tentatively sometime in September. I think the dates to be determined. And as we always do, we look at our action plan comparing to our strategic plan and our culture plan, and happy to say I think a lot of the objectives of this committee are being successfully completed, even though it's early in the year. We had a great Black Heritage event. We've had a couple of DEI films, and I think the next event is a clothing swap that's coming up shortly. And yeah, I'm kind of pleased that we have Deputy Mayor Anderson, and we have a really broad representation. We've gone from not having too many members to we're at capacity and actually turning people down, which is a very pleasant problem to have for a committee and volunteers. So anyway, I'm happy to entertain any questions. But
Questions for Gord? So when is the clothing swap?
I'm gonna say it's Saturday in
This
May.
Saturday, yeah.
It's a
The-
Saturday.
Yeah,
It's this coming Saturday.
yeah,
And it's in Clifford.
yeah. And there's several drop-off points.
So clothing can be dropped off at the Service Ontario office this week and at the,
I think at the Grove
right.
in Palmerston.
I have it
And
in my announcements.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Oh.
Yes, they'll get covered
So I'll
later.
cover it
Sorry,
for you.
pardon
Yeah.
me, our reporter has got that on his list.
Good. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be covered by the time we leave here. So, yes.
Okay. We have a recommendation by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Elliott. Council Town of Minto receives the Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Committee minutes of April 16th, 2026 as information and approves by recommendation contained any recommendations contained therein. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion? Thank you, Gord,
Thank you.
for presenting. Staff reports. We have a Plan 2026-08, B926, Mervyn and Mary Behringer. And I know that's not how you say that, but it's a severance application on 9782 Ski Road. And I'll ask Sama to present.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Consent application B9-26 for a secondary agricultural severance at 9782 Ski Road is currently under consideration by the County of Wellington Land Division Committee. The application proposes to sever approximately 0.81 hectare or 2 acre from a parcel of agricultural land for a proposed institutional use to construct a parochial school. The retained parcel will be approximately 19.4 hectare or 47.9 acre and will remain agricultural land containing an existing house, shed, and a silo. The proposed severance is permitted under the county's official plan and compliance with the provisions of the zoning bylaw, including frontage, lot area, and minimum distance separation requirements. The standard conditions have been recommended, including satisfaction of all Town of Minto financial requirements, confirmation of satisfactory access for both the severed and retained parcels, and obtaining zoning compliance, all to the satisfaction of the Town of Minto. Town staff recommended that council endorse the application and recommend approval to the County of Wellington Land Division Committee, subject to the three recommended conditions noted in the report. Thank you. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Sama. We have a recommendation moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Gunson. The Council of the Town of Minto recommends that the County of Wellington Land Division Committee approve consent application B926 for Mervyn and Mary Behringer for land legally described as concession 17th, part lot 21, with the municipal address of 9782 Ski Road in the Town of Minto, and that the following conditions be considered. I'm going to read the conditions. Or do you want to summarize, Terry?
Summarization would be super.
Okay, I'll allow that.
Do you want me to summarize it? Actually, Sama can summarize.
So I'll just, I didn't want to put you on the spot, Sama. I'll read it, that the owner and the applicant satisfies all the requirements of the Town of Minto, financial and otherwise. Second one is that the owner and applicant confirms that there is satisfactory access to both severed and the retained parcels. And the zoning compliance be achieved to the satisfaction of the Town of Minto. Okay? Questions for Sama or Terry? Go ahead, Councillor Botnowitz.
Yes, through you, Mayor. Just a question regarding minimum distance calculations. In your zoning bylaw, is this considered a type A or type B land use?
So based on the MDS guidelines, it is a type A. So it is the lesser of the distance of the two, being that this parochial school will be serving the horse-drawn community. In this local area, there are 0 barns anywhere close to it. So MDS is definitely not a concern in this particular location regardless.
Thank you.
Other questions? Yeah, after this parochial school is built, how many do we have now in Minto?
I ran the numbers a couple of years ago.
Okay.
We have lost 2.
Okay.
But in the last 2 years, we've gained 3. So I want to say around the 11 mark. I could be a little bit off, but we have quite a few.
So when we lose 1 or 2, are they turned into something other than a school, or how does that work?
In both cases of the schools that we lost, they were serving the Amish community and were consisted of portable classrooms. So they just removed them off the property. It may require that the Committee of Adjustment approved a minor variance recently, rezoning application on the 15th line to support a bin manufacturer. Part of that application was for an increase in his home industry size, but it was also removing the parochial school zoning designation on it. So that was one of the locations that we lost one.
Okay, other questions? Going to call the question then. All in favor of this motion? That's carried. Thank you. So we've got Plan 2026-010, Main Street West, Palmerston. It's in a servicing agreement. And I'll ask our CVO, Mr. Kuipers, to present the report.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor Turton. As part of the Main Street reconstruction design, staff reached out to some of the adjacent property owners to the west of Minto Road to determine whether those parcels are, those owners of those parcels were interested in services. Currently, right now, the 3 properties identified in the report have private wells as well as private septic systems. So there's the potential with those properties being the size they are, there's the potential of redevelopment. So we figured we'd reach out to those owners while we're redoing that road to see if there was interest in it. And the 3 property owners indicated in the report were interested in water and sanitary extensions to their properties. So not to jump ahead or make sure everyone was still on board, staff had Triton design that sanitary extension as well as provide a cost estimate. So those property owners, again, knew what they were up against, being that we were going after a cost sharing model. So all the property owners were happy with the price that the estimate came back at, and are even actually more happy with the estimate or the cost breakdown that came back from the tender itself. So as part of that, we need to formalize kind of what the different parameters that we had talked about with this service extension, just so everyone's clear on both sides what the expectations are. So the property, as mentioned, will be cost shared between the 3 property owners, and the basis that we did this on was the width of their frontage, or their percentage of the frontage as part of the entire project, including the town. The town has some benefits to it as well. So Ryan did attach the draft report to the council agenda for your information. But the basic parameters are the cost sharing breakdown. So the amount each property owner is responsible for. The payment terms, which is 3 equal payments, annual payments. So by the time we get our final bills on the total reconstruction of Main Street, we'll have our money recovered from this extension as well. There are parameters about mandatory connections, that they've got 10 years to connect to the water and sanitary, with other clauses in there in the event they don't. And the agreement will be registered on title, so that potential repurchasers of the property are aware of, 1, any outstanding monies that may be there, as well as this mandatory connection aspect of things. So staff is looking for a resolution to council allowing the mayor and the clerk to enter into the servicing agreements with these property owners. I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
So we have a recommendation moved by Councillor Putnam. Sorry, Terry, to cut you off there. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, but I think I did.
All good.
With the Council of Town of Minto receives report plan 2026-010 Main Street West, Palmerston, servicing agreements prepared by the Director of Building and Planning Services, Development and the Development Technician for information purposes. And further, that the Council of Town of Minto directs the mayor and the clerk to sign site servicing agreements with property owners, 5914 Wellington Road 123, 567 to 573 Main Street West, and 561 Main Street West to allow for the extension of municipal water sanitary services along the Main Street West and Wellington Road 123 in Palmerston. Questions? Go ahead, Councillor Elliott.
Is it possible any one of these groups could back out of the deal and decide they don't want to be involved, or are they committed?
With the signing of the agreement, they're committed. We've reached out to them and kept them in the loop all the way through the process, and none of them have expressed concerns or interest in backing out. It's a net benefit to them and also the value to their property. Do more with it.
Right. Okay, thanks.
Other questions? Councillor Zimmerman, go ahead, sir.
I'm just thinking about my other part-time job, firefighting. When we extend the water, is there going to be fire hydrants added along that route as well?
There will be. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. I believe there's two. There will be one at the end for maintenance and blow-off purposes, but there'll be at least one partway through because it's serving the Palmerston Optometry Clinic. It's serving Dobson Storage Solution as well as Emerald Coating. So it is a lengthy section of pipe. Keep in mind there is a hydrant on the Esso property right at the corner there. So, but yeah, we're definitely taking that into consideration.
Excellent. Other questions? If that, all three of those likely will look a lot different in 10 years than they look today.
None of them look bad, but I definitely don't disagree with that. They're large parcels with lots of potential, and having the services there is nothing but a benefit to the property owners.
I think it's a smart idea, and I congratulate them for doing that. And anyway, I'm going to call the question. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. I'll pass the chair over to Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. So we have one report tonight, the Harrison Legion Memorial Crosswalk installation that was brought to council our last meeting, and Mike's here to report on that.
Thank you, Chair Gunson. Yeah, this is just a quick follow-up with some conversations had with the Legion since their delegation, primarily just to work out cost sharing for the installation as well as future maintenance and throughout the duration of this crosswalk being present there. So in the bottom of page 1 there, you can see the current crosswalk location and the amount of standard white paint required. And then when you look at the new proposed crosswalk, there is a fair bit more standard white there. So that's how we kind of broke down the cost sharing on that. So for consistency moving forward with other potential user groups having a similar request, having the town pay for the standard white paint would be consistent for any future ask along the way. And then even for future maintenance, the Legion in this situation, they have agreed to pay for the color palette as well as the additional stenciling required, even moving forward with the repainting of this location. So when it comes down to the cost breakdown, it won't be as much as the original ask, but it is a benefit to the Legion as well with the cost sharing as proposed here. If there's any questions.
Thanks, Mike. I'll read the recommendation moved by Councillor Zimmerman, second by Councillor Elliott, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report PW 2026-022, Harrison Legion Memorial Crosswalk installation, prepared by the Roads and Drainage Manager for information purposes. And further, that the Council of the Town of Minto approves the installation of the Harrison Legion Memorial Crosswalk on Mill Street, Harrison, at the intersection of Elora Street South. And further, that the Council of the Town of Minto funds the standard white components of the crosswalk, with the Legion funding the color palette stenciling required for the memorial crosswalk. Questions for Mike? Councillor Elliott.
Maintenance, if somebody does a burnout or does something to destroy the crosswalk, who maintains that?
The Legion has also said that if there is any sort of vandalism or discoloration throughout, that they would be responsible for that as well.
Thanks.
Mayor Turton.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So Mike, I want to thank you for reaching out to the Legion and negotiating for us and getting this done. I think it's really important, and likely there's one in Palmerston coming.
There very
after-
well could be,
yeah,
yes.
After the main street's done, so
Mhm.
thank you.
I'll tell you more. Deputy Mayor Anderson.
Just who does the stencil? Do they already have somebody lined up?
In this particular situation, they're going to be using a local contractor at Chatsworth. ALK line painting. And they are doing a number of other Legion crosswalks in the area this summer as well.
So, well, thank you for negotiating. This seems a reasonable solution to what we all sort of went, oops, what can of fish does this open? So, thank you.
This might be for the CAO. As we see more and more of these, should we have something in place similar to like our banners and maybe a bylaw for crosswalks, or is that, are we jumping down?
Through you to check on some. Definitely something we'll have to look at going forward, but we tried to look at, or we did look at the past scenario and tried to make some consistency with this one going forward. So maybe we do have to put it down on paper, and we can certainly do that.
Perfect. Thanks. Any other questions? Councillor Podwin.
Just one question. I think originally they asked for $3,000 to be contributed by the municipality.
Yeah.
Has that changed?
It'll be less than that dollar amount. Yeah. The exact dollar figure, it's consistent with their original cost estimate, but just working through the whole scenario, it's close to 50-50 essentially at the end of it.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's passed. Thank you. I'm going to pass the chair back to Mayor Turton.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
Chair Gunson. So we're going to start with announcements. We want to start with Councillor Elliott.
Not really an announcement, but a thought we could maybe bring forward to another council meeting and maybe have Greg do some research on it. As everybody knows, there's a lot of fireworks going on in our communities. 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, just a system of going up there and lighting them off. And I'm wondering if access is too easy. Maybe we should look at, I know other communities have access so that they can only sell on certain dates or whatever they do to try and prevent that. We can always say phone the police, but heck, might be 12:30 one night, might be 2 o'clock in the morning. It could be any time. So how do you expect the police or a bylaw enforcement officer to catch somebody on top of the bridge in Palmerston or downtown Harrison? I'm not sure. I've heard Harrison and Palmerston, but I'm not sure about Clifford, whether they're getting this or not. But I believe we have to do that. Our citizens are very concerned and getting calls about this. And it's all over the internet. So if we could do something to have a look to see if there's anything that's been done in other communities to solve this, or if you would do that for us and maybe bring it back to our next council meeting. I don't know whether this is the appropriate time to bring that forward or not, Mr. Mayor, but I thought I should do that.
Councillor Elliott, I had it on my list as well. I talked to our CAO yesterday about it. I've had some emails as well, and it's very, I think it's crazy. I listened to Waterloo, Kitchener, people lighting fireworks, people shooting them around, and it's pretty crazy. And I agree. If there's something that we can do, we will.
Yeah, sometimes I've heard that they only buy fireworks at a given time from a local retailer, maybe on a long weekend or whatever, 2 or 3 times a year. I don't know whether we can do that or not, but maybe that's something that we can look into.
Okay. Thank you. Next, Councillor Potnovich.
I'm going to defer my announcements to Councillor Zimmerman.
Councillor Gunson.
I will do the same.
Okay. Councillor Dirksen.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. So today is Red Dress Day. Day, Red Dress Day. Today set aside to honor the lives of missing and murdered Indigenous women and children. Wearing the color red today shows support and commitment to ending the violence and making a difference. So by raising awareness, we can help to make sure their stories are not forgotten. Apparently May is Dutch Heritage Month, as well as East Asian Heritage Month. Both of these groups have helped to shape our community and our country into what it is today. It takes a very brave person to leave their family and their language and their culture behind and find connection in a brand new community that is very much unlike your own. I can't really imagine doing that. On Saturday, May 9th, listen up, there will be a clothing swap hosted by the DEI committee at the Clifford Community Hall that runs from 10 till 1. Any warm weather clothing will be accepted at the hall from 4 till 8 on Friday, May the 8th, and on Saturday between 8 and 10 before the sale. You can also drop off clothing this week in Palmerston at the Grove Center today and Thursday from 11 till 6 and Friday from 11 till 4. In Harriston at the Service Ontario office, also known as David Anderson's office, any day this week from 9 till 5. And in Clifford at the library today from 8 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday from 2 to 8 and Friday from 10 to 5. Whole lot of information. Searching on Facebook. That's where I found it. Also on Saturday, this time in Palmerston at the Lions Park Pavilion from 10 till 11, the Palmerston Ag Society is holding a spring planting class for kids ages 7 to 12. Each participant will be planting a zucchini and learning how to care for it. Sincerely hope only one kid from each family shows up, or you'll have a lot of zucchini. You must pre-register, participate, and I found that information on the Town of Minto Facebook page, so you can find the link there. And last but not least, the Norwell District Secondary School is presenting Matilda, the musical play, from May 14th to 16th. Tickets are always sold out. The show starts at 7:30, so if you want to go get your tickets soon, the quality of their theater work is absolutely amazing. And now I'll pass it on to Councillor Zimmerman, see what he has.
Well, you're showing me up there, Councillor.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You didn't stroke any off your list, so. You should
Well,
be
yeah,
okay.
she nailed one. I'll have to skip over that. So we'll start out, we'll kind of go by date here. Minto Arts Council is holding the 8th annual Minto Juried Art Show at the Minto Arts Gallery on the 3rd floor of the Harriston Library. That runs from May 7th through the 29th. On the 7th, this Thursday, there's an opening reception from 6:30 to 8 p.m. where you're welcome to come and meet the artists that have put their stuff up for judging, light refreshments, and a show very well respected in the art community, apparently. That's what I read. We'll skip that one. And again, the Arts Council on May 11th at the Norgan Theatre in Palmerston, 7:15 p.m. will be presenting a big film presentation. And that's a movie entitled The Coral. It's set in 1916 England during wartime. That's good. And it's about the struggles of a choir when their members are sent off to war. And prior to that film, it's a short film entitled Scrapworks. And this film actually features a local Palmerston blacksmith, Ryan Lease, as a traditional blacksmith navigating the challenges of modern life turning away from power tools. Cost us $10 for that. Very interesting that it's a local person in the film. And this is a little way out, but Harriston United Church is holding the Bargain Basement and Bake Sale. That's 57 Yonge Street West at the corner of John Street South. And that's on 3 days, Thursday, May 21st from 1 to 6 p.m., Friday, May 22nd from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., Saturday, May 23rd from 8 until noon. And they are accepting donations on May 19th and 20th from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. each day. And there's so many more things to do in Minto, and there's no excuses for not doing anything.
Or something.
Or
Are you
something.
looking at me? Lots to do.
Thank you, Councillor Zimmerman. Deputy Mayor Anderson?
The Hort Society is moving towards their summer activities with the Garden Festival coming up June the 6th. Keep an eye on the website. We've got young folks helping us put interesting tidbits on there. And for anybody who has never seen our barn, they're having the Hort Show out there on May the 20th because they didn't have space big enough to do the flower show. Everything else is pre-booked. So I won't be there. I'll be on vacation, but my son will be there. But you can come on out and have a look. Just in case you've never seen this.
Okay, thank you. So I'd just like to make an announcement that May 17th to the 23rd, the week of May 17th to the 23rd is National Public Works Week. And if you see one of our Public Works people on the street or whatever, beep the horn or wave to them or thank them for doing such a great job in Minto. And I know that that's a national thing, and there is some excitement elsewhere in the county, and it's all a good thing. I just wanted to say as well, on Saturday night, the Minto Fire had their annual banquet and awards, long service awards. There was quite a few given out. Amazing evening, and just wanted to congratulate again all the long service award winners and all the folks that were there. We certainly rely on our fire service. So just big shout out to all of them. Okay, so we're going to move right along here. We have a motion moved by, unless there's others, go ahead.
Can I just add one? Sorry, I forgot this. Nurses Week is next week in May. It's a good time to thank your healthcare providers. Nurses are the backbone, as far as I'm concerned, of our healthcare system, and they're undergoing stress and strain currently. They're frequently working short staff. We know that people are not joining the nursing careers. You know, they're leaving it in droves. It's got some real challenges. So if you know a nurse, give them a thank you. They're the people who meet you at that triage entrance. They're the people that get you into the system. They're the people that say to the doctor, you need to see this person right now. So you rely on them to get you started into the system. It's a challenge.
Palmerston Legion on Saturday night, they're having a fish fry. One other thing that I neglected to mention, our CAO and myself and CAOs and the mayor from Wellington North and Mapleton, we went to Stratford last week and met with a lot of mayors and CAOs from Perth County, and Matt Ray was there. And it was a very interesting topic of discussion. We met a lot of people, and there was a lot of similar stuff that we're dealing with in Minto, Mapleton, Wellington North, as they are dealing with in Perth County. So, interesting day. So I have a motion moved by Councillor Dirksen, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that the committee of whole convene into the regular council. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you. And then we have a resolution by Councillor Potnovitz, seconded by Mayor Anderson, that the Council of the Town of Minto ratifies the motions made in Committee of the Whole. All in favor of the motion? We have some bylaws. A motion by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that bylaw 2026-013 be read a third time, passed in open council, and sealed the corporation. All in favor of that motion? Moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Potnovitz, that bylaws 2026-025 and 2026-026 be read a first, second, and third time, and passed in open council, sealed the corporation. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Moved by Counselor Gunson, seconded by Counselor Elliott, that bylaws 2026-027 confirm actions of the Council Corporation of the Town of Minto respecting a meeting held May 5th, 2026, be read a third time, pass an open council, seal the seal of the corporation. All in favor of that motion? Carried, thank you. Adjournment. Moved by Counselor Zimmerman, seconded by Counselor Dirksen, that the Council of the Town of Minto adjourn to meet again to call the mayor. All in favor of that motion? Thank you very much.